Hey guys, it's Steven. When the opening bell rings in the morning, I'm going to bet you're feeling a rush of anxiety. Price starts bouncing around and all of your pre-market prep basically goes out the window. For most of you, you're going to hesitate at the open. Then you're going to end up chasing and you may end up even freezing at the open and doing nothing. What's unfortunate about that is that you probably actually see a good trade at the open. You spot it and you see it working, but you miss it because you weren't able to act on the trade. So how do you take that stress out of the open and turn it into something that you can execute against? I'm going to walk through today's Q chart because we got a false power bar at the open and then a real power bar that was tradable. And being able to recognize that difference between the two is what's going to separate you being a profitable trader from one that comes into the open scared to do anything. So let's go to the chart. I'm going to show you my power bar setup, which I've done in a couple of different videos, but I'm marking the pre-market high and the pre-market low, which was pretty clear today. We didn't have any wild candles at 4 a.m. Again, for me, the pre-market is 4 a.m. Eastern time in the US up to 9:30. So now that we have our pre-market high and our pre-market low, let's zoom in on what happened after the open. The first thing that caught my attention was this power bar right off the open. It's clearly a power bar. Look at how much larger it is and all the candles around it leading up to the 9:30 open. It looks strong. It's super fast right out of the gate. It feels like a big move is starting. But look at where this power bar originates. You're right in the middle of the pre-market range. Again, pre-market high, pre-market low. For me, this isn't a power bar that I'm going to get long. And the reason is it's not originating at the right spot. Look at where the power bar ends. You're literally ending at the pre-market high, which is resistance in this case. So I don't want to be buying right into resistance at the open. So if this is a fake power bar, what's the real one look like? And how can you make sure that you spot it in real time at the open? And that's exactly why I built the power bar cheat sheet, which lays out those step-by-step rules so you don't second guess which power bar is the actual one to go either long or short on. And if you comment power in the comments, I'll get you that cheat sheet. Also, next week, I'm going to host a live workshop where I'll go through this exact trade, plus a couple of other very simple setups that repeat every day. So if you've been missing this trade at the open and hesitating and not knowing when to get into it and not knowing when to get out of it, that workshop will give you a clear game plan to attack the open. That's next Thursday, September 4th, and I'll put a link in the description to this video. Now let's get back to the chart. And this power bar, which is the one that actually matters for the trade, look at where this power bar originates at the pre-market low, really like spot on to the pre-market low. This is the entry after the power bar ends. You can get in early to the power bar, but you're lessening the probability that you succeed because maybe it turns out it's not a power bar in the end. So if you get in at the end, that's the simplest and easiest way to do it. This becomes your stop, which is basically the pre-market low, right? That's now your stop. The first target, in this case, for me, I would not use the pre-market high, but use this resistance level as a first target at this point. So imagine how good you feel if you take this power bar versus taking this power bar in the middle of the range. It still happened before 10 a.m. For those of you looking to trade the open and get out and get on with your day. You could have been done by 10:15 today. This trade works over and over in the market. And if you can just identify that pre-market low, pre-market high, and a power bar that starts near either of them, you're way ahead of the game when it comes to trading the open. And speaking of getting even further ahead of the game, I had a great question about price targets and profit targets. So think of this as a little bit of a bonus in this video to add on to trading this power bar at the open. Because if you add this to your trading toolbox, you're going to add a tiny bit of complexity for the chance at a lot more profit. And let me show you what I'm talking about really quickly. On the daily chart, here I'm flipping to the daily on the Qs. Right now, we're in a retracement move. And all that means is we went up and hit a high and pulled back, right? That's our retracement. Put the Fibonacci's, which you can find over here on the left in TradingView, put that on your chart, mark the high and the low. The low is 551.68. The high is 583.32. Put that on and let it overlay your 2-minute time frame in the morning. So this is our 9:30 time frame right here, just in case the colors are a little bit confusing. Right, this is 9:30. This was when we had this fake power bar that started in the middle. And to use the higher time frame Fibonacci numbers, which is this yellow line, as your price target. You can see this spike got within 7 cents of that Fibonacci number. And I'll pull back. I'm going to flip to some different time frames real quick so you can see exactly. That Fibonacci number is at 571.23. So just call it 571.25. That is now a key number. It was a key number yesterday that I pointed out to my Trade Your Edge group. It's a number you want to have in your mind right now as a magnet for where the Qs is going to go. I'm going to back to my 2-minute. And instead of using the pre-market high, which was here, or even resistance that was put in place just a few minutes earlier, use this Fibonacci number as a target. Again, I had a great question about taking profits. There are a ton of different ways to take profit. In my other videos on this trade, I've tried to use the simplest one, which is the pre-market high as a target. You can use that if you want to just keep it super simple. But again, if you want to add just a tiny bit of complexity, overlay those Fibonacci numbers from the daily onto your 2-minute chart, and you can use those as targets. I hope this helped relieve some of the anxiety around trading the open and having a clear plan that you can stick to at the open. Again, if you want the cheat sheet, just comment power below. And I'd love to have you at the workshop next Thursday, where we'll go over this trade. I'll answer any questions you have about the trade, and we'll have some fun going over some other setups as well, because trading shouldn't be as stressful as most people make it, and you should actually be having fun doing it. So if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. I'll have a link to another one of my power bar videos that's gotten well over 40,000 views on YouTube at this point, just in a couple of weeks. That'll be on the screen if you want to check that out, if you haven't seen it yet. And thanks for watching this video.